All right, my name is Leo Smerglia, and this is my coaching interview presentation. All right, so I did my coaching interview with William Buckerfield. He is a high school baseball coach for the Lake Blue Streaks. It's a small school in Hartville, Ohio. It's in Stark County. If anyone knows where that is in Ohio. He started with t-ball for his son, and then worked his way up to the high school level. And then after the youth level, he went back and got his education degree. And so after obtaining his education degree, he began coaching at the freshman level at Waynedale, which is a small school. And then after Waynedale, he went to Lake to teach there and started at the freshman level there, then worked his way all the way up to varsity. Okay, so I asked William. I asked him, "What made you decide to start coaching?" So William's son played youth sports. And then that's when he started to participate in coaching. He originally was not going to coach, but the parents really loved his positivity, and they loved the way he was as a person, that they did want him to coach. He was kind of iffy just because the son father coaching thing. You know, will this kid get more playing time than say someone else? The politics within. But he did end up coaching. In our interview, William said that coaching, that it's a great way to build a relationship with kids, and it also keeps them in the game. He really did emphasize to me during our interview that he loves to build relationships, and we'll see it through the presentation that he just loves to build relationships with kids, and also that he just loves the sport of baseball. All right, so I asked him, what does a year-round prep look like for you and your coaching staff? So for baseball, the coaching staff, during the off season, they hold open fields, and they do that. It's usually the summer till like October, so I would say June to October, and then once it gets cold from November through December, they do hitting sessions and batting cages. They don't do any pitching though. Pitching, they wait till about February, and even when they do start pitching, it's maybe once a week. And they also use this off season time to see who's been putting in the work, who's going to step aside, and who's kind of just remained the same and hasn't really done anything. And also, they do these events, practices, so-called, to develop leadership roles for upperclassmen that need to learn how to become a leader going into the season. Okay. What is most important to you when coaching? So when I asked him, he really emphasized to me that relationships, he loves to build relationships with kids. It is a key factor. It really motivated him to get up every day, go to work, coach, build that relationship. So when talking, he was telling me how kids spend more time with you than they do their own families, which is a great point. And you really only remember, looking back at sports in high school, you look back and you remember the good times with those coaches and people like that. And there were definitely times where even I just remember always doing sports in high school more than I was at home. So he really did make a great point there. Okay, I asked him, how do you go about motivating your players when coaching? So kids don't get motivated by punishment. He really does not believe in punishing kids by just, they messed up, go run. He doesn't really believe that. Or they messed up, 25 push-ups. He doesn't really believe in that. He said in our interview that motivation often comes intrinsically or from in. So if you put them in the right mental state and give them the tools to succeed, then that's what they want. And then being there for the players, supporting them, this is really just how he motivates that player to do well. If a player messes up, they know what they did, right? So he's not just going to go out and yell at them. He's going to push them to just be better. All right. So he is a teacher, so I asked him, how does being a teacher factor into your coaching style? And during the interview, he did tell me, he was like, the best coaches are teachers because they are not looking to further their career outside of high school sports, which if you look at high school sports, those coaches really do build relationships with the players. So that's what he just really focuses on. And then the goal for William is that his students succeed, and that really does translate to the sport of baseball while he's coaching, because he wants his students in the classroom to succeed every day. So it translates straight to baseball. And then coaching and teaching go together because you can still teach the game just like how you teach at school. I mean, that's really just a given. That's why I do believe that the best coaches are teachers, and it does make a lot of sense. You see a lot of great coaches that are also teachers. All right, so I asked him, how would you describe your coaching philosophy? So his coaching philosophy is, it's about building up the character of the kid, especially at the lower levels. If you take a look at college coaches, they are paid to win. If they lose, they're most likely to get fired. So William's big thing is making sure you develop a good young man even outside of the sport. Like say they play all the way through high school, but they don't in college. They still could come out with life lessons from that sport. And he talked to me about being a leader and what true sportsmanship is. He said it's definitely great for players you need to show them how to respect. So shaking hands after a game, win or loss, helping somebody up if they fall down. If someone's hurt, you take a knee. He really did emphasize that. All right, lastly, what are your values when coaching, and how did you decide on these values? So William prides himself on positivity. He said that he's not one to raise his voice at players, which I did go through a little bit. He does not like to punish kids. They know when they messed up, especially at the varsity level. Kids, by the time they're in the varsity level, it's more like just maybe flipping the lineup, or maybe flipping, putting a different pitcher in, or just flipping somebody in the batting order. So you move someone 5, maybe move them down to 6, right? And then he said in our interview, when a player makes a mistake, they know it, point it out. And he focuses to make sure players are mentally there, because baseball is a mental game. I do think baseball is one of the most mental sports out there. So making sure that player or players are in a great mental space makes them good. And I think those are some great values to have. Yeah. And then that's
Okay.
the interview.
What